Alright, after much hesitation, I decided to watch the first 4 episodes of She-Hulk to see if it's as bad as they say it is. And the answer is yes, possibly worse. As the title says, this is about She-Hulk, Bruce Banner's cousin. She's an attorney, and she accidentally gets powers from Hulk, resulting in her becoming She-Hulk. She starts to specialise in superhero law cases, and that's your story, really. It's a comedy-themed show, that's the basis of the show, it's comedy, and she also breaks the fourth wall in this show. Now, if you know anything about MCU comedy, you know this doesn't bode well. I find the humour absolutely cringe in this show. I don't find any part of it funny, and it doesn't work on any character that they imprint it on. I know in the comics she breaks the fourth wall and stuff, so that's not my issue here. I'm not having a go at her for breaking the fourth wall. I know that's what she's meant to do. Whatever, cool. But it's still not funny. And on top of them making her character extremely goofy, they then let that spread onto the other characters and already established characters that they bring into this show, such as Wong and Hulk. Now, don't get me wrong, these characters were already kind of on the downward slope because Marvel were, gradually ruining their characters by making them more and more goofy and more comedic. Hulk started off as a great character in the first Avengers movie. I think he's really good in that movie. You really get the sense that this is a man who can't control his anger, and the sense of a man that, really did go through some shit, and he doesn't want to be Hulk. Whereas, as it's gone on, he's just become more and more goofy, and then the same thing applies to Wong, pretty much. But what this show is doing is it's putting them in an even deeper rabbit hole, so, they're just getting more and more goofy by the episode. So by the time they actually go to another movie, it's just like, well, now they're the comedy relief character. Oh wait, everyone's a comedy relief character. Even Abomination is made goofy. Like, I feel so bad for Tim Roth. Fucking Tim Roth, star of Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction, and this is what you've sunk him to. This show is like an awful comedic plague. Like, everyone it touches, it just infects with this horrible, unfunny disease. And I pray for Daredevil's safety. So we've established this comedy show can't do comedy, but let's talk about the plot. It's uninteresting, and it's seemingly heading nowhere. It just seems like a week-to-week bad sitcom starring a green lady. This show may as well be called Princess Fiona or some shit. I mean, the CG is on that level, but we'll talk about that in a minute. There is an occasional inclination about setting things up, like Hulk in a Sicarian ship, or people randomly attacking She-Hulk, and they say, oh, what's the boss gonna think about this? But it's nothing to get excited about. It's, this fucking mic, why does it keep doing that? It's nothing to get excited about. It's breadcrumbs they're leaving, there's nothing really that you see the plot or the story heading towards. I know it's meant to be like a tongue-in-cheek, funny, breaking the fourth wall show, but there should be like some sort of end goal that's relatively clear by the 4th episode. We're nearly halfway through. It just doesn't feel like there's anything that they're working towards. Now, as I said, the CG is pretty shocking for this show. You know that. You've already heard about it. It seems to get worse with each episode as well. Like, the budget is just decreasing for each episode. And it was at the point in episode 4 where it didn't even look like the speech was syncing up with the lips of She-Hulk. It just seemed just way off. I'm not the first to say this, but it really does look like when you make a custom character on a video game and then they walk into the cutscene and it's like you've got this big green lady that you've just made in a room full of just normal people. That's really what it looks like. Like, the way she walks, it really doesn't look good at all. But besides the bad CGI, the bad humour, the odd remarks about how trash men are, what are the positives to this show? Honestly, I don't have any. The only thing I can say about this show is it is watchable, but it's not entertaining. It's really dull. I'll be playing a game on my phone or something, or scrolling through Twitter whilst I'm watching it. Don't get me wrong, I'm still following what's going on, but it's not the sort of thing where you wouldn't touch your phone for the duration of the episode. It's the sort of thing where you half watch it and you still know it's dog shit. There's so many just issues with this. There's no point even talking about the Meg Thee Stallion thing because everyone knows about that, and I think if I have to think about that again, I may self-implode. The fact that they settled on that as a plot line. What? I'm not sure why MCU has this obsession with comedy, why they can't make a movie or a TV show now without just throwing in bad comedy. Now, maybe that isn't a fair thing to say for this show in particular, because it's meant to be a comedy thing because, well, that's what people say, because in the comics it's a comedy thing, whatever. But even so, maybe make some good comedy, or maybe make it half drama and then, you know, half decent comedy. It's just fucking shit one-liners throughout. I'm not even convinced this woman is a lawyer, and obviously she's not, but you know, like how you watch lawyer shows and you think, damn, that I'm convinced that person is a lawyer, like Suits or Better Call Saul. She just doesn't even seem like a lawyer. Like the stuff she's coming out with, the stuff the judges are saying in the courtroom, I do not believe for 1 second that this is a law show, that this contains lawyers, and that these are real people that you'd find in a courtroom. But I mean, that's just Marvel comedy, isn't it? They could have a really emotional and well-written scene, and they can't resist the urge to ruin it with a stupid line or a goofy remark. It's like leaving a kid around a big red button that just says, don't press, and the kid's gonna press it. He wants to press it. That's what it is with these creators. Like, they can't resist the urge to not fucking press that shit comedy button. I mean, making an MCU show that's comedy based there's no point even saying it's a comedy. It's just the category is MCU because comedy is funny. This is just MCU. You know, it's just MCU has not been funny for a while. I'm going to be honest with you, and it was at its funniest when you cared for the characters and it was kind of like there was substance to whatever you were watching. But now, like, they are sacrificing so much of plot and character just to throw in cheap laughs, and it's got to the point where it's not even funny. I didn't laugh once, and that wasn't even me trying not to laugh. It really isn't funny. I didn't expect much, but wow, this show is arse. Green arse. I want to say 4 out of 10. Even that sounds just too nice. But it's watchable. It is watchable, and I will watch the rest. It's easier to continue watching when you force yourself to watch it in the first place. You know, I was worried that I was going to leave it to the end, but I just thought, let me hop on now, and then I can just watch the 30 minutes once a week. It's not that deep. 4 out of 10. Can it improve? Well, I don't think it can get much worse, but if it's more of the same, then it's just going to feel worse. So yeah, if you've seen She-Hulk, sorry. Yeah, let me know what you think about it. See you in the next one. Bye.